Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Oh My Craziness podcast. I'm your host, Hamz Islam. My guest this week is Dieunerst Collin. At the age of 9, when Dennis was in a Popeyes restaurant, a stranger was recording Dennis, and Dennis gave a side-eyed reaction, and that reaction became a meme. And during a period of time, he was known as the Popeyes Meme Kid. And unfortunately, it is one of the most commonly used memes around the world. And I say unfortunately because for Dennis, throughout a period of his life, it affected him personally. And so it's going to be a very interesting conversation to talk about how he was able to overcome this perception of him because for many people, they see him as the Popeyes meme kid, but to people who know him and himself, he is just Dieunerst Collin, a human being just like everyone else. And so it's I'm excited about the fact that he's a guest on this podcast because I was going to say I love Popeyes, but I do want to be able to connect with him on a personal level and understanding how he was able to overcome these obstacles. And I want to kind of spoil the end here or end of his 10-year journey because this happened when he was 9 years old. Now at the age of 19, he received a name, image, likeness deal with Popeyes. And because of this, he is able to do things like pay for college, take care of his family, and work with other brands. I'm really happy that he's been able to find a way to find the positivity in this because I can't imagine what he must have gone through during this journey. So here's my conversation with Dieunerst Collin. Hope you guys enjoy it. Dieunerst Collin, welcome to the Oh My Craziness podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I have to tell you, I'm not saying this because you're here. I'm saying this because it is factual. My favorite food is curry, as you can tell, because the name of the podcast is called Oh My Curry Goodness. It is my favorite food, and any restaurant that sells curry, I'm gonna take it. But if I had to choose another restaurant, it would 100% be Popeyes. There's no doubt.
Oh wow.
Because the there's something about Popeyes. I really doubt that there's another restaurant out there that can produce the same quality and the same level of like delight that Popeyes has. So on any day, I would always have curry, but Popeyes is a close second. So that's just me. But I
Hey, I don't blame you. Trust me, you're not lying.
Now, I want to know if you have a go-to meal at Popeyes because for me, my favorite thing is shrimp, biscuit, gravy, and
hmm
lemonade. How
hmm
close am I compared to your
hmm
go-to meal?
To be honest, ever since they came out with the chicken sandwich, it's been really like number one. So I usually get that with fries, a biscuit, and a little strawberry lemonade on the side.
Hey, you know what? Okay, so we're different, but lemonade is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Definitely.
Before we talk about everything that has been a part of your journey, I actually want to know if Popeyes ever meant anything to you personally, because for me, people who know me know that I love curry and they'll think that I'm joking of some sort. But to me, because the fact that my mom made it so much, it's been one of those foods that whenever I have it, it just takes me to like a happy place of some sort.
hmm
So I'm
hmm
wondering for you, did Popeyes ever mean anything to you personally before everything that happened, or was it just another restaurant?
It actually meant something to me because my family, whenever we didn't feel like cooking, we feel like grocery shopping, just cooking anything. The first thing we would think of is, hey, let's go to Popeyes and go get like the family meal and all that stuff. And, it was satisfying my whole family. So it really played a big part when it came to that.
Wow. No, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's one of the things that really makes life beautiful at times is when you realize that it's not just I mean, for a lot of us, people will think like, oh, you're kind of like crazier, I guess. But when you realize that there's a more symbolic meaning, that's what makes it really beautiful. But I want to talk about this journey that you had because this has been a 10-year, I guess 10-year journey. And for those who don't know
Yeah.
you or who may recognize you, this was never supposed to happen because correct me if I'm wrong, I think what had happened was that a stranger recorded you and it was just such an awkward
hmm
situation that you gave a side-eyed because it's like, wait, why am I being recorded? And that
hmm
moment changed everything. And this wasn't something that went viral like immediately. It's still something that people, this meme is something that people still use today. And
Hmm.
you're very open about the fact that you are scared to go out in public because the fact that people are now recognizing you as the Popeyes Meme Kid. I would love to know how you're able to get through each and every day because the moment you're out in public, people are like, "Oh, you're that guy." And it's the reality is, no, that's not you. You're Dieunerst Collin. You're just a human being like everyone else. But unfortunately,
Hmm.
this is now, I guess, for lack of a better term, the new normal for you.
Hmm. So like, just obviously the people in my life, like friends and family, they've told me to just, embrace it. And it's obviously hard to obviously embrace everything when everything was just as big as it was. And I'm not used to just embracing being in a spotlight like that. And they just said, hey, embrace it. And usually when people embrace things, that's like obviously bad enough. Sometimes it becomes good. And luckily, what I embraced became a good thing.
Now, you've been a part of this has been a very long journey for you in this road to recovery, but I want to talk about something that really helped you, I guess, try to overcome this issue, which is football, because
Hmm.
sports for a lot of people is our way of therapy. But and I guess I'm sure for you that was that in a way where it's like you're doing a sport to help you get out of the situation that you're unfortunately a part of. I would love to know what about football really helped you in trying to get over this this image that people have of you. And do you feel like if if you tried another sport, if you did another sport, that you would not be able to have that same, it would not have been able to make the same impact that football has on you?
It's mainly like for me, what comes with it on the side, like the lifting weights and just the health aspect of it. And me, I want to say just lifting weights to working out and all that stuff. It just helped me get all the anger out. This is why right now I'm as strong as I am because lifting heavy weight is all that anger. Is like, yeah, push it up. If you don't push it up, then you know, either you get hurt or something like that. And just the fact that I was able to, get in the weight room or just train in general, it just helped me get all the pain out and everything sweat, let it all sweat. And it was like, okay, you're fine now. And I feel like if I was to play another sport, I think it would still be the same because it's like I love being active. I'm an active guy, and it's like, hey, if you're angry, hey, go work on the sport you love. Guess what? All the anger just sweats out of me. It's like, okay, I'm fine to live another day.
If you didn't try football, what other sport would you have done?
That's a good question. I really don't get that question a lot. I think it will I'd probably track and field, probably as a thrower. I did
Okay.
throw in high school.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I also did track during high school, but I was the absolute worst at it. So I did the one, two, and the 400. Now, I was
Hmm.
decent at the 400, but I was terrible at
Hmm.
the one and 200. So that was my
Hmm.
relationship with track. I was not the best at it. I never did any field events because I wasn't good at it, but
Hmm.
yeah, that was me. So I don't know how
Trust
much
me,
that.
I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best at throwing either. Like I think I was. Excuse me. I was maybe the third best on our team, and to be honest, I was I was a mile away catching up to the top two. So, but I think if I was to obviously take it serious and you know train as hard as I can to obviously perfect myself in the sport, I think I would be pretty good at it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about reality because you pursued football and this allowed you to help change the perspective, change the narrative around you. And one of the biggest things that you went viral for was the fact that you helped your high school football team win the state championship. And there was a photo of you holding the trophy that I wouldn't say is
Hmm.
exactly like the meme that people saw, but it was more of like you're holding this trophy and you're also giving the side eye. I would love to know what that moment was like for you to win that state championship. And secondly, did you ever feel like you were able to, I guess, start changing the narrative around you because people are still recognizing you as the Popeyes meme kid. People are still recognizing you as that meme. Did you hope that by winning the championship and having posing in the way that you did for that photo, that people hope to have like a different perspective around you personally?
So like literally a week before the championship game, me and actually teammates were actually talking about, hey, hopefully you go viral again, taking a picture with the trophy. Just we had like they had, usually they say it as a joke, and it's like, okay. So literally right after winning the state championship, it was just like, oh my God, we actually won one for our city because I think the city hasn't won one for about 7+ years, I think, and well, it really hit me because like all the seniors that were on our team, we've been working since freshman year talking about, hey, we're gonna win a state championship at some point. And right after that, they gave me the trophy. I held it as like, wow, I really, obviously I got where I am because I worked very hard for it. And then Zone 6, Justin, shout out to him, came up to me and said, hey, take a picture as if it was a meme and all that stuff. And my head coach, Coach Oliver, was for it. And when he was for it, I didn't. I was too excited in the moment for me to like literally let everything they said sink in. So I just took the picture and said, okay, let's take it so we can go finish celebrating with our teammates. So I took the picture. And, it did hit me while I was running to my teammates. It was like, wait, I really just did that. What happened if that really goes viral? So I wasn't really worried about like, letting what they said sink in my head. So I was just too excited in the moment. I was ready to just go celebrate my teammates. I literally called like my best friend, called everybody I know on my phone saying, hey, we just won, dancing with the band. And that's what I was really worried about. Just embracing the moment. I was not gonna just, let what they said sink in my head just so I can like I don't want to say ruin them up, but like just take some of the excitement away. No, I'm worried about what I'm doing right now, and I was just too excited for it.
Yeah, it's very hard to, I guess, capture the moment because I think this is where you're kind of thinking bigger than yourself. Yes, this is a really special moment for you, but it's not just you. It's your high school. You're representing your high school at a pretty high in a really big tournament. So it's like, why should I really care about this? I'm doing this for my friends. I'm doing this for my classmates. So like it's much bigger. But here's something that really stuck out to me. You are now, I think, a freshman in college, but you go to Lake Erie College, which is a school in Ohio. Now, I go to Ohio State University, so disappointed that we don't go to the same school. But what was the recruitment process like? Because you are someone that wants to pursue a career in football. It's not an easy thing, regardless if
hmm
it's Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. What's talking about Lake Erie and their football team?
So just throughout my process of recruiting, it was pretty hard. I want to say, the fact that one, I'm not the ideal offensive lineman like a lot of coaches would want, like the 6'5" guys. That's just so tall. But I was a 6'1", still am a 6'1", 315-pound lineman, and it's like, okay, what can happen now? So I had a couple interests. I had interest from Fordham University, school in New York. I had interest in Ithaca. I had interest from Morgan State. I had a couple interests, and when it came to like the offers part of it, I was actually this school was actually the only school that actually offered me, and I talked to Coach Jackson. He said, "Hey, I want you on a visit. Come down here and all that stuff." And, I wasn't used to traveling. You know, Jersey and Ohio, it's a pretty far drive. You have to
Yeah.
drive there. You have to drive there. So came down here, talked to all the coaches, and I met my positions coach. And I was just loving the energy here. And they were saying, "Hey, we can develop you as a player." And once they said that, it really sinked in my head too, because obviously I want to get better, and obviously I want to pursue a professional career. So I loved the way they were talking to me, loved the energy, and literally like a week later committed.
Now, I do want to mention, if you guys are watching this, if the audience is watching the video version, you are wearing a New York Giants sweatshirt. So I can tell that you are a football guy. Now, if you do become a professional football player, obviously there's a lot of things and like a lot of things you can't control, like who you hope to be drafted by. But I don't know how connected you are with the New York Giants, but do you hope that is there like a specific team that you would hope to be drafted by, or is it just like whoever wants me, I'm gonna give out my all. I'm gonna give like my 100% effort.
I mean, as a player, literally, I can being drafted by any team would be amazing because hey, it's the NFL. Why would I
Right.
not be amazed? But I definitely would probably obviously say the Giants because one, Saquon Barkley. It's my birthday twin right there. And another thing because they sponsored our team, and I've been a Giants fan for so long, just the history and everything. So just playing for them would be really, 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 really cool.
No, I respect that. I respect the hometown because I think, yeah, like you said, playing in the NFL, because I know how tough of a league it is, it's very easy to it's a dream for a lot of people, but there's always this thing where it's like it's so much better when you're playing for your hometown team. No, it's no disrespect to the other 31, 32 NFL teams, but like when you're playing for your hometown team, it means so much more. But
Mhm.
I now one of the things that you came back on the news back in I think January where you got ended up getting a name image likeness deal with Popeyes. And I'm sure that must have been one of a special moment
Mhm.
because people are there are because now it's like I guess in a way you get to have the last laugh because people used to laugh at you as like you're the Popeyes meme kid, but now because of this name image likeness deal this has allowed you to work with brands, help your family out, pay for colleges, which is all really important in life. Talk me through how that happened and what it was like to be able to um, finally achieve that dream. Because what was interesting was that you were getting support not just from you weren't just advocating for this, but even like fast food restaurants like KFC were in on this. They were like, "Hey, give Dieunerst Collin this NIL deal." So how did this happen, and what was it like to be able to have so much support in helping you get this thing?
So like literally coming home from winter break, Sports Center had posted, this is Dieunerst Collin, won a state championship, all that stuff. It's like, okay, I appreciate the respect you guys posted and all that stuff. It was some people that texted me and said, hey, you gotta reach out to them. You gotta take this serious. It's about time. I just take everything serious and see where this goes for me. And at first I took it as a joke. So, I made an Instagram post telling everybody, hey, tag Popeyes, what's gonna happen there and all that stuff. And I did it, obviously, even though it was a joke for me, I actually wanted it to actually get really, really to really happen, you know? And when I posted it and everything, I had a lot of support, people in my city, which who respect me because, I respect everyone in my city. And then just getting love from people outside of my city and outside of the state of New Jersey. It was like, wow, it's a lot of people that have my back and all that stuff. And it's like, wow, I never would have thought that. So literally, as soon as everybody did it and all that stuff, literally within 24 hours, Popeyes text me on Instagram and say, hey, we want to work with you, you know, email this person and let's go through the whole NIL process. Let's make this happen. And luckily I was really excited and I said, hey, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things is that because you lived a life where so many people where there were people that made fun of you, is that you it's very easy to forget that you also have a really good support system. And like I said, you end up getting the last laugh because you are now able to work with brands and do some of the things that are so important in life. And I know how much family means to you. So it's like you're being able to help out your family. And also because college can be expensive for so many people. So it's like I'm also able to pay pay for college as well. So, it's a process, but I'm glad that you're finally able to be in this situation that you're in. But I would love to know how your relationship with Popeyes or how your relationship with Popeyes has changed, not just the NIL deal, but like going to the restaurant, especially during that period of time where before you got that NIL deal, were you still able to be yourself? Can you still like go in and just get your food, or do you feel like there is this level of like, I guess, like there's like this haunted house feeling where you go into this place and that because people know you for that particular event, was it easy for you to still go to Popeyes, or was it more of like, oh my God, let me get out of here because people are now recognizing me for this version of me?
So I have, I think the last time I ever been in Popeyes was like literally not, I was like, I think a month ago, maybe two. You know, with everything that happened, my whole life is like, I tried to rarely step in at Popeyes because I didn't want people to notice me. I didn't want to, excuse me, I didn't want to deal with, everyone in my face, even the workers in my face saying, oh, hey, how does it feel to, do this and then all that stuff. But ever since everything had happened to me right now, I still, to be honest, I still rarely go to Popeyes. But when I do go, it's like every employee literally is just shocked and they just have so much respect for me, and it's like, oh my God, you're really a Popeyes kid and all this. And they're pretty excited to see me. And it's like, wow, I like that. And it's like, if I could walk in Popeyes 24/7 just to get that love, I would definitely do it. But luckily I actually can't because I'm a busy man. But
Yeah.
uh it's just they're pretty excited to see me and I like that.
Now, I think a lot of us want to be remembered for something. There's no doubt that we always talk about this thing about legacy and what do we want to be remembered by. And unfortunately, you're going to be in like the wrong side of history in the sense that because of how much it negatively impacted you. But given that now you have this NIL deal, do you feel like I guess, do you feel like this NIL deal makes up for what happened in the past, or do you still feel like there's like, I guess, this grudge that this is still going to be a part of you for basically the rest of your life? Do you feel like you're kind of moving on from it, or it's like it's still going to be there no matter what?
I mean, as obviously it's gonna still be here for the rest of my life, which to me is not now that I'm maturing, I'm growing up, it's not a bad thing because as a person you obviously like you said legacy, as a person you obviously want to leave a legacy on this planet so people can know you for something. And whether it's me being a whether it's me being a meme or it's just me being the meme kid who signed with the Popeyes to get an NIL deal, I want to say now it's an honor because I actually people actually couldn't remember my name. I obviously have a unique name. It's not actually spelled Dennis, but hey, and it's like first time people see my name, it's like I've seen that name before. Oh my God, that's that football player. That's that Popeyes kid. That's that guy who's in the NIL. That's the guy who's flipped something negative into a positive. So that's why I really think this can leave a legacy here for me.
Now, many people will still recognize you for everything that happened with Popeyes, but you obviously have a lot of things going on in the future. Where does Dennis go from here? Is there something that you want to do? Because obviously Popeyes will still be a part of your life, but is there something else that you want to have that you want to continue to achieve forward, or do you feel like right now or do you feel like with everything that's happened, you're in a good place?
As a man who likes to think ahead of the game, I do think I'm trying to go forward from where I am now. Right now, obviously I want to pursue a dream, which is what my career I actually want to pursue is being a sports analyst. Talking about sports all day, which I would love to do. And I'm trying to pursue that. Starting a podcast and all that stuff. And not only do I want people to obviously know I know about sports, I also want people to know just my character, myself. Because I'm not the dull, quiet type of person. No, I can have fun. Trust me. This is why I try to obviously. I want to say I'm trying to become a content creator, but for some reason, calling myself a content creator is very weird. But obviously, I want to pursue that too. So technically, I want to be sports analyst and a content creator because I think the person that I am, I think I could do a really good job at it.
I think, yeah, no doubt about it, because so many people will recognize you as that meme, but you're so much more. And so it's like, and I always say, like, for this podcast, is that everyone is really good at what they do and they all have their passions, but you're also a human being. And so I think
Mhm.
it's very important for people to know more about you from a humanistic level, and that's what I think people should do more. And and that's why, like, I didn't even know who you, like, I didn't know how much this meme affected you personally, because so many of us, it's become like one of the most widely used memes. But what I never understood was
Mhm.
the fact that it affected you personally. So I think it is definitely one of those things where it's like people need to know that side, because you know, yes, I guess it is a commonly used meme, but you also got to think about, like, if you're that person who was that meme, how does it feel for them? And there's not much empathy or sympathy, especially in the internet nowadays.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but that's actually what I want to talk about, which is the idea of viralness. Because especially in like today's world, we got, like, I mean, back then it was Vine, now we have TikTok.
Mhm.
Everyone wants to go viral for something. But given that you experience the dark side of it and also the good side of it, do you think, I'd love to know, like, from you personally, do you think going viral is a good thing, or do you feel like it's unhealthy for society?
That's a good question. To be honest, as me myself, I actually think it is a good thing because outside of, the negative part of me just randomly becoming it, and becoming the meme, me becoming the meme, one, it made me the person who I am today. It made me think, hey, you're this now, so you have to actually watch what you're doing whenever you're doing anything outside or anything. And it made me meet the people in my life, and which is really good for me because before all this meme stuff, I wasn't a guy who would randomly just go up to you and be like, "Hey, want to be friends?" or "Hey, would you like to talk?" or something. No, I was the guy who was like, "Okay, I'm here. I'm just gonna sit back and not talk to nobody." And just the fact that the meme came is like everybody's thinking or coming up to me saying, "Hey, you're the meme king, you're the meme kid." And then you have some people that actually just want to get to know me, and then obviously get to know about the story when it comes to the meme. And it's like, yeah, I actually would like that. So,
What how different what would life look like for you if that NIL deal never happened? Because here we are, we can finally say that, you every like there's the good side of it happened. You got the NIL deal and you're working with people that you never thought would be possible. But if that never happened, how different would life be for you? Do you still feel like you're trying to be in this sense of, like, I need to be able to prove myself, or what would that look like?
uh, I think I would still, like I am till this day, is I need to prove myself because when it comes to playing the game of football or even just life, it's like on the football aspect, I always wanted to prove that I can be a football player, not just some guy who looks big or just looks big. That's it. No, I actually want to prove I can play the game and I can be good at it. And when it comes to me just being a man, it's like first thing people would think of is can he handle business? Can he talk like a man? Can he just be a man in general? And I think with my mentality, my work ethic is like, yeah, I have to prove myself. And I like being I want to say I like being on top because I don't like being looked at from the bottom. So I like being on top. So I think I would have a proven mentality
Before
still.
I let oh, sorry. Before I let you go,
Okay.
one of the most
Mhm.
interesting things, probably the most interesting thing about this journey, is that that stranger who recorded you, or yeah, you've never actually met him in person since that day. And I would love to know, if you met this guy, if you met this stranger who recorded you either today, tomorrow, or whenever, what would you say to him? Because there's, on one side, it's like, hey, because of this, you made me I was afraid to go out in public. This put a negative image on me. This affected my family. But then you can also say that this also allowed me to pay for college. This allowed me to take care of my family. So it's like there's like a sense of bad, but also a sense of good. But if you did meet him, what would that conversation look like?
Here's what's crazy. We actually have met.
Oh,
We actually have, yeah. We actually did an interview together, and they asked me the same question. They actually said, what's one thing you would say to him? And the thing that I actually said to him, the first thing people would think of is what I would say is, you ruined my life, or I would never want to see you, or, God forbid, but drop dead. But me personally, I had one thing people actually would never think I actually would say, which is thank you. I said thank you because if it wasn't for you doing that, I wouldn't be who I am today, or in other aspects of where I am today. Because technically, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be outside my comfort zone. Now I'm usually outside my comfort zone. I could be around a bunch of people and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
well, if
So I
there's
said
one
thank you.
if there's one thing I've learned from you throughout this conversation is that it's a process. And it's not something that will happen tomorrow, next month, next year. This was a
Hmm.
10-year process. But if there's one thing that the Philadelphia 76ers always say, trust the process because something good will happen. And I know you are someone that emphasizes this a lot, which is think positive because blessings will come. And I think it's an advice for everyone that no matter what you're going through, think positive because something good will always happen. And Dennis, I hope people learn a lot from you. You're an inspiration to many people when it comes to trusting the process, thinking
Thank you.
positive, and if we have those things, then good things will happen. So, Dennis, thank you so much for joining the podcast, and I wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And also follow us on Instagram at the OMCG Podcast for more information on guests, preview clips, and more. We also want you guys to leave a review and rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you guys do reviews and ratings. It really helps our podcast grow. I'm very thankful for the people who have supported us so far. Please continue to do that, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.